On today's episode, we are back, Feast Week Part 2. I'm your host, James Barlowe. Got my guy Latif Love again. Let's just get right to it. Stay tuned. Appreciate everybody for checking in, tuning in, listening, watching. Whenever you consume this audio content, visual content on YouTube. If you're not following me already, I'm at Draft Junkie James. If you're not following Latif, what's your Twitter handle? Where can they find you at?
Real Latif Love, LATIF LOVE on Twitter.
Gosh, Latif, up and coming voice, reached out to me. I've been on his show, so it's my turn, or his turn to be on my show. So here we are. So with that being said, let's get right to it. We're gonna start off with the, I guess you could say, not the opening game. There were so many games today. They start super early, but Baylor had another test. They played St. John's today. Tell me what you saw in this Baylor game, Latif.
I just want to say today was much worse than yesterday in terms of the quality of games generally, and this is the start of it. Pretty much a blowout from the beginning. Baylor did make it interesting, like a little bit in that first half, but my main takeaway is this team need a point guard. I really don't feel like they got one to really orchestrate the offense. I feel like they really missing Rob right now. And I think Cameron Carr and Tounde could really use a point guard. That's really my takeaway from this game. Cameron Carr was excellent, though, again today. Last game, he didn't have a three ball going. He didn't even shoot a three, I don't think. It was really attacking the rim off the catch. And today, the paint wasn't open. A lot of stuff wasn't created for him, so he had to make tough shots. And he made tough shots today. What stood out to me for Cameron Carr is his pull-up three-point shooting, the confidence in which he does it. Like he shot the three ball from deep, from distance, and like was confident doing it and made it. And he's been shooting the cover off the ball to start the year. And I think the numbers will stabilize, but what encourages me is the volume. And what encourages me is the confidence. And all the stuff he does, the athleticism, it popped today. Defense wasn't as good as previous games, but he still has the length, the athleticism. It was much of what we've seen from Cameron Carr so far, but today he had a three ball going, and they needed it badly because they would have been nowhere close in this game without Cameron Carr performance. I think he had, 27?
Yeah, I have him down for 27 points. He had 3 rebounds, no assists. He shot 8 of 15 from the field, including 5 of 8 from 3. And you mentioned he's shooting the cover off the ball. He's at 56% from 3 on 5 attempts per game. And like you said, just to piggyback off of you, like his range off the catch is legit. He shot a shot clock bomb from the logo, and there was no struggle, no heave in it. It was just a comfortable shot. And he has no issue stepping behind the college line 3-4 feet behind the line. Like that's nothing to him. He looked really, really good. I got a take for you, and I look like you wanted to say something, and I guess we can kind of rope it into when we talk about his teammate Tounde, Yaxel. But Cameron Carr does have some blinders on as far as just like his playmaking. There are a couple of plays where he's driving, and again, super athletic. Obviously, he will try to dunk on you, but it's hard to make a living trying to attack the rim every single time, especially when guys are there. And he does need to be aggressive because he is a very good shooter. They're going to chase him off the line. I wish he would make the extra pass a few times. There was a couple of plays that stood out to me. I believe it was in the second half in transition. It was like a 3-on-2 break. He had the big man rim running. He probably could have, again, he's the best player on the team. Like, you get a pass for, shot selection. But he had the big man rim running, and he shot a contested pull-up. And he also had Yaxel in the corner, who he probably could have swung the ball. He had options is what I'm saying. And then there was also another play in the second half where he drove, went chest up. I think it was with Zuby. Maybe it wasn't Zuby. But he had somebody open on the perimeter. Those are just plays that I would like to see him make in the future. But go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was going to say he kind of reminds me of Trey Murphy.
With the range?
Yeah, the range and the athleticism, the length. I think his wingspan is probably longer. Yeah, his wingspan probably longer than Trey Murphy's. And I think Trey Murphy is taller. but he kind of reminds me of that type of player. So I was trying to see, did you have like a player comp? Because he kind of reminds me of Trey Murphy with the shooting and the athleticism.
The shooting and the athleticism does remind me of. I like that Trey Murphy. I do see some like early Mike Hill Bridges if Cameron Carr is able to lock in on the defensive end, and there is some shot creation. He's not Mike Hill. He grew into being like a scorer off the dribble when he left Phoenix. When he was in Brooklyn, he was putting the ball on the ground more. But now that he's in New York, he's not putting the ball on the ground as much. But Mike Hill, if you look at like the measurements, to me, again, obviously Cameron Carr's a better athlete, but the measurements, statistically speaking, I mean, Mike Hill is playing a way better team. But as far as just like scoring, pretty good rebounder, has to develop as into a playmaker. He does remind me of Mike Hill, but I mean, same time, it looks like he's gonna be a 20-point per game guy this year, and that's not what Mike Hill Bridges was coming out of Villanova. But again, that Villanova team was really, really good. You mentioned it. What were your thoughts on his teammate Tounde Yesufa?
I said it last time we got on the pod, but I think he's just very far away offensively. He's just very far away. What's most concerning is that he's a really good athlete, but his rim finishing numbers aren't good right now. I think that's part of that is because he doesn't know how to control his athleticism right now. He just goes into the paint pretty wildly against strong contests. Now we obviously got to see a larger sample size, but I think his touch around the rim needs work as well. So for someone that is athletically gifted as him, you would definitely want the rim finishing numbers to be better than what they are right now. Let me pull up where he is.
I already have him. He is at
36.4
40% at the rim in the half court, and really overall in the half court, he's only shooting 31% from the field. So that's a combination of missed jump shots, getting to the basket, going to the basket without a plan. He's athletic, but he runs out of gas. He runs out of gas, turbo, lift sometimes at the rim, where he's not finishing above the rim like you think he would because of how athletic he is. And really, like, he does all of his damage in transition, which he's really good at, and hitting the glass. But today, Tounde shot 15 to 17 from the field. I believe he was 1 for 8 from 3. And I think that last 3 was like garbage time when they're trying to play for seeding, however that works for this players event. And he finished with 15 points and 8 rebounds. So it's looking ugly right now for him, and it's still early. Like you said, I believe Baylor's played 5 or 6 games. It's a long season, but yeah, Baylor has a lot of issues in the half court, and they're already only playing 7 guys. So you're just kind of like stuck with what they're trying to do right now. So it'll be interesting to see how they turn it around, but it feels like the 2 Baylor prospects, Cameron Carr and Tounde Yesufa, are going in opposite directions as far as their draft stock.
Yeah, I agree. Again, we talked about it. I think that he's going to be a late first round pick probably, but I think he can overplay that value just in terms of like a role reduction and buying in and improving his 3-point shot. I think his shot looks flat. Like it has no
very flat. It's dark.
Yeah, there's no arc on the shot. It's very flat. The misses are pretty bad. It's like it just like thumps off the rim. Like it's like lifeless. The shot is like lifeless. Like it's depressing when he missed. Like when it hit the rim. Like the rim like it hurt. Like that hurt. Like when you shot it. Like I don't know. So yeah, I mean, I'm not sure that the 3-point shot that's a work in progress too. He's just a work in progress. He's super raw. Yeah. Honestly, like I feel like he may not be a one and done. Honestly, he may not. That may be overreacting, but he may not be one and done.
I don't necessarily think that going back to school for a lot of these guys is a bad idea because next year's draft is not as talented, top heavy, however which way you want to describe it. It's not this year's draft class. So if you're looking at your, draft grade and it's 20 to 30, who's to say you don't come back next year and it's, 10 to 20? And we're talking about the difference in several $1 million and the way the NIL money is working. Maybe you're not missing out on anything by going back to school. So that'd be an interesting choice for the Yesufa camp to make. Moving on, I feel like this one was one of the few good games of the day. Houston, you said was overrated last night. I guess shout out to you for calling out Houston, but they lost to Tennessee, who hadn't really played anybody. And I guess shout out to you again. Jacoby Gillespie was hooping. So,
He
what were
shot like
your
5 or
thoughts?
16, but it's whatever. He got the
But
job
you
done.
know what? Sometimes you look at you gotta throw the box score out the window. Like he kept them in it. He was the
Yeah,
one making plays. When they were chasing him off that, I don't want to call it floppy action, but they were chasing him off all that Steph Curry action. He made the plays when he wasn't making the shots. So, but this is about. Let's start with Nate. Let's start with Nate Ament. What were your thoughts on Nate Ament's performance? We knew that this was going to be his by far biggest test. It was going to be physical. Latif, tell me what you saw.
I saw what I expected. I definitely thought he was going to struggle in this game. I don't know if I said it in the last video, but it's Houston. Like, he was going to struggle. Not many freshmen just go out there and ball against Houston. And they're the most physical team in the entire country. And he is a lanky, skinny guy. And to be honest, I think they were comfortable putting guards on him, though. And I think that was something
You
that
know, and I don't know if maybe it's because he's young, but like late in the game, Kingston Flemings was guarding him because Kingston
yeah.
he lost Gillespie a few times, and they switched Uzan and Sharp on Gillespie. So they was like, Kingston, you go guard Nate Emmett, and Nate was like, cool, standing out at the half court.
And
And
that's something
go
I
ahead.
noticed in high school that teams did that, and he had a varying amount of success on it. And I think that's something like other teams are just going to be able to do. Like he is not a physical mismatch where you have to worry about putting guards on him. It's kind of like with Wimby almost in the league. Like teams are comfortable at times putting wings on him because he's so skinny. He's not gonna really post you up a lot of the times, and if he does post you up, it's gonna be a bad rep. Obviously, I'm not trying to compare him to Wimby, but teams are gonna be comfortable putting guards on him because he's not gonna back them down. He's gonna try to shoot over the top of them, and that can draw fouls or he can make the shot. But that's a win for a defense. If you're getting a 6'10" player that's not taking a look at the rim against a mismatch, that is a win for your defense. So I think he struggled with physicality against them today. He looked really slow as well. He got to the free throw line, which has been a theme for him.
Always gets to the free throw line, and
Yeah.
it's not. It's weird how he gets to the line. Like I said, sometimes it's him being aggressive. Sometimes it's just bad defense. But if you don't watch, you look up, he shoots a bunch of free throws. He had one field goal today, nine
Yeah.
points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 for 8 shooting, and I believe he was 7 or 8 from the foul line.
Yep.
Um, but even though we did expect this to be a physical game, I just don't feel like he was assertive enough. And part of it was just because I don't know, maybe the physicality. I mean, you could tell like they were sitting on the pull ups, but to me, you are a top 10 pick. Some people think a top 5 pick. Maybe we can just all agree that he's definitely a top 10 pick. I feel like while he did 5 rebounds and that's okay, the 4 assists is good. You got to hunt more shots than 8 attempts, at least in my opinion, and that's. I don't want to say it's a red flag, but I wish he was a little bit more assertive in this game.
He,
Yes, Gillespie had it going, but eight free throw attempts, great, but 8 field goal attempts. He didn't get his first field goal until probably less than 4 minutes into the game, and that was off an offensive rebound in transition. He just kind of was just out there. So we'll see. They
um,
have a game tomorrow. I have to look and see who they play. They probably still filling out their schedule, but we'll see how he bounces back. Go ahead.
I just feel like these are things that I saw in his high school film. The like disappearing in games. I saw that in his high school film. Um, Being able to put smaller guards on him, and all the like weaknesses we talked about yesterday. It was just not a good matchup against Houston, against one of the most physical teams in the league. Against us, coaching Kevin Sampson, that is one of the best coaches in the league. I mean, in the country. So yeah, I think that the passing was pretty good. He asked that as well as a connected passer. But I think this is who Nate Amon is. He has games where he's ultra aggressive. He has games where he's super timid. Um, I think a lot of the class has flaws. Like a lot of the class outside of like the top three, they have we have the top three, then we have glaring issues with a lot of these prospects, and that's fine. That's fine, but I think Nate Ament is going to struggle against quality competition this year. I do think so.
I agree. Now let's move on to on the other end of the court, Kingston Flemings. He did not struggle, and he was definitely aggressive. 25 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 10 for 15 from the field, 3 or 4 from three. He looked like the whatever he bounced back. I don't even know if you can call it a bounce back from the performance he had yesterday. He just looked like a totally different player. He was far more aggressive, far more assertive. He is going to get to his right hand, and if he gets to his right hand and there's a clear path to the basket, good luck. His first step is amazing, and he is one of the, I don't want to say few, but normally guys who are really, at least in my opinion, guys who have really good first steps, get to the basket. They want to shoot pull-up jumpers going left. He shoots pull-up jumpers going right. And that makes him getting to his right hand that much more deadly because he can stop on a dime. He's got the natural fadeaway on his shot. Like, he was extremely impressive tonight. I clipped up a part of the, or at least a play he had where I can't remember who it was, but he hit somebody with the left or right. He's going to go right. Good luck stopping it from going right. And he hit the brakes, and he got to his spot, and he contorted his body and finished. I asked Twitter who that reminded them of. I got various answers. I mean, somebody said SGA. SGA is not as fast, but that same discard and, get back to your left hand and shoot the layup. I can see that. I saw Tyrese Maxey a lot. I saw Westbrook, a couple other guys. And to me, maybe not. He's not as athletic. He's very athletic. His first step is legit, but he's not as explosive. And there's a level of strength, and there's no one ever. Well, I won't say ever, but we won't see another like Derrick Rose type athlete. But his playing style, demeanor reminds me of Derrick Rose in New York, Derrick Rose in Minnesota, where he was still extremely athletic. He was still extremely quick, and he was a good mid-range shooter. But Kingston Flemings he's crashing. He should be crashing top tens if he continues to stay aggressive. I think, especially in that Houston offense, because it definitely gets stagnant. We talked about that last night. But I think down the stretch, it's got to be him making the decisions. So, what are your thoughts on Kingston's performance?
I feel like it feels like Kingston Flemings is solving college basketball in front of our eyes. Like you saw the poise. We talked about yesterday. Sometimes he's just like one speed. Today he was much more
better
poised.
last night. Tonight, excuse me.
He was a lot more poised. He had a play where he probed in the pick and roll. Had the defender on his hip and then finished with his right. Yep. He had that play where he went behind the back and stopped on a dime and then finished with his right again. He looked a lot more poised. It looked like he's just figuring out college basketball game by game. I think Wasserman had him at 9 today on the latest Bleacher Report mock draft. For some reason, his comparison was George Hill. So I'm not sure I see that. I mean, I wasn't really like watching basketball when George Hill was a prospect, so I don't really know. But he doesn't remind me of George Hill.
George Hill was not that fast.
Yeah, I don't know. But Flemings, you can't stop him from getting to the rim at all. The 3-point shot really impressed me today, and it's impressed me at the beginning of the year. He looked confident in shooting it. He had the mid-range counters as well. He was still getting players involved when he got downhill. So I think that Flemings is going to compete for the point guard one in this class. He's definitely going to compete for the point guard one in this class. For a lot of people, Mikael Brown has a lockdown right now, and people are already asking, who would you rather have, Mikael Brown or Kingston Flemings? I think that's an interesting conversation. Both of those guys provide different things. Mm-hmm. But incredible poise, incredible first step, really good finisher for being 6'3", probably 175. So he has all the makings of, I think, of what we could be like a franchise guard in the next level. And will definitely be a lot higher on my next big board. I had him at 13 coming into the year. And if he keeps this up, he's going to be pushing top 5 or top 6.
extremely talented. I will say this. I wonder when team. I mean, it's easy to say this, from my couch or office or wherever I'm watching a game, but it'd be interesting to see how teams start to funnel him to his left hand. Not that he can't go left. It's just he's so deadly going right, and you can't necessarily like give him space because if you're on your heels, he'll fly by you. But he was very impressive. Nothing too much from Chris Sanak. I know he blocked a couple of shots today, which is what I've been wanting.
I mean, that nothing much. I think that's the conversation. It was nothing much.
Yeah, and as one of my knocks on him going into the season is that he's extremely inconsistent. He'll have a game where you'd be like, man, that dude looks like a top 5 pick, and then there's another game you'd be like, what was he doing out there? But he did block some shots, but it wasn't his night. It was definitely the Kingston Flemings performance. Moving on, I definitely want to get your take on this. North Carolina, they beat St. Bonaventure today. Caleb Wilson, 20 points, 12 rebounds, 5 of 13 shooting, 10 for 10 from the foul line. What were your thoughts on Caleb Wilson's performance today?
It was more of the same, to be honest. I mean, he wasn't as dominant as he's been throughout the year. They have had a pretty soft strength of schedule. I think St. Bonaventure is a good team. Honestly, I think they can be a fringe tournament team if they win their conference. They beat Bradley, so they're pretty good, if I say so myself. They were really physical with him in the first half. That was obviously a part of the game plan to slow him down as UNC's best player. He continues to struggle when he can't just dunk the ball. I think he continues to struggle when he has to create for himself in the half court. Right now, he's shooting 2 for 10 on layups.
Does that include tonight's game, or?
Yeah, that includes tonight's game. He's shooting two for 10 on layups, I believe, in the half court. He's shooting 2 for 10.
I feel like it should be more. They might have to recalculate that because, like, he was everywhere tonight, and I don't mean that in a good way. Like, they gave him the ball in the mid post, and his balance was off. He looked I mean, again, we have to nitpick. This is an extremely talented draft. We have to go through this with a fine-tooth comb. When he didn't have a clear, just like when he wasn't spoon-fed, now he did draw 10 free throw attempts. So he was fouled twice. That's great. But they gave him the ball in spots, and he just was not comfortable. And even in, like, those same mid-range jumpers that he was hitting earlier this season, like, they weren't there today. And it wasn't just because it was an off night. It's just he looked like he had premeditated moves. His balance was off. It looked sloppy. And again, you look at it, if you don't watch the game, you say, oh man, he had 20 and 12. He's extremely talented. If he can get close to the rim, he's probably going to dunk. And what I do like about him, he does push the ball in transition because he is very active on the glass, but he struggles to finish if he cannot dunk, like you said. And then the jump shot is still very much a work in progress. But again, 10 for 10 from the line, that's a good sign. That's, to me, a sign that, the shooting ability can come. But tonight, he just looked sloppy on the offensive end.
I respect everybody's opinion in this draft space. I think it's good to have your own opinion, especially if there's stuff to back it up. I've seen people put him in the number one pick conversation. He's not close to there. I'm sorry, in my opinion, at least. I think he struggles when he needs to create his own shot in the half court. And we're looking at a guy that's in the league probably going to be a 3 or a 4, right? That's what we think.
I think he's 100% a 4.
Okay, right. And so he's a 4. He's a 4 that can't shoot. He's a 4 that can't create his own shot in the half court efficiently. He's a 4 that struggles with touch. So if you're a 4 that can't shoot and is not a half court creator, that creates a problem for me in a lineup. Because now I need probably a 5 that can space. And that's an issue. He's a very, very low volume 3-point shooter. I think coming into this game at least, he was at 2 3-point attempts per 100 possessions. Now the free throw shooting in this game was very encouraging, but historically he's not a good free throw shooter. So I don't really think he has that much upside as a shooter, to be honest. A lot of the upside with that is like has an insane work ethic. He's going to work at it. I get it. But unless this guy improves his handle drastically, improves his pull-up shooting from three and in the mid-range drastically. Unless he improves his touch around the rim drastically, he's not going to be in the number one pick conversation. Now, I think that Caleb Wilson is an awesome prospect that I have number 5 on my board because I think he can challenge Jaden Quaynes as the best defender in the class. And he's a really high-level play finisher, and he's a really good passer. He has a really good feel for the game. He adds value a lot of places on the court. Number one pick, no, in my opinion, at least.
I have him at 5 right now. He reminds me a lot of not as good with the ball in his hand, at least dribbling, as Tari Eason, but that same motor. He's going to rebound better than Tari Eason, but also Tari Eason struggles to make layups too, as athletic as he is. That's who kind of Caleb Wilson gives me those kind of vibes. Whether or not he's better than Tari Eason, we'll see. I don't necessarily think he's challenging for a top 3 spot. 4, maybe 5, maybe. But let me ask you this before we move on to the next set of games. If you had to, well, you said you mentioned him at 5, but is Koa Pete in that conversation? Not necessarily as a top 5 pick, but in that conversation as your next power forward up? Is it, or is he too far behind Caleb Wilson to you? Or even Nate Ament, if you feel like Nate Ament is a 4.
No, I do. I feel like Nate Ament is a 3 or 4. I got Koa Pete behind Nate Ament. But I think that if Koa continues some of the stuff he's done this year, I'm gonna have to move him up. Yeah, I think he's shooting like 70% at the rim. He's creating a lot of his attempts.
He's explosive. He's explosive at the rim, and it may not mean I'm dunking on you, but you can tell like when he gets to his spot and he has that chance to like gather, like he's finishing at the rim. And I really think that while he is shooting, and it's a very small sample size, he's shooting 70% at the rim. Like he's not doing it with like the best spacing in the world either. There was a play against UConn. They emptied the side on a pick and roll, and he had a takeoff spot, but at the same time, the big ducked in, and like that's not going to happen in the NBA. But I was just interested to see what your thoughts on Koa Pete versus Caleb Wilson. Now we know that Caleb Wilson is going to rebound better, probably create more stocks. Again, Caleb Wilson has the potential to be a better defender, but I think offensively, I think Koa is the better player, even though he's averaging less points. I feel like what he's going to do at the next level, or what he's doing now, will be enhanced and will be able to translate easier than for what Caleb Wilson is doing. And I even mentioned like prior to the season, like I just didn't know how Caleb Wilson was going to score, just because like he's raw, but at the same time he's motoring himself to 20 points a night. So I'm not mad at him for that. It's just that we'll see how much more skill he can develop, especially with like the touch issues and just really like the bad balance. That just throws me off. Like he just looked like he was playing on his heels, and any bump he was getting pushed around. It's a physical game, but he'll have an opportunity to bounce back.
I think both of them have issues for me in terms of their roles in the league because they're not shooters at the they're not 5s. You're not a shooter and you're not a 5. Koa Pete, I'm a production guy. And you continue the production, I'm going to raise you on my board. And he's self-created a lot of his attempts. He's a good passer. He can operate out the short roll. He's a really good defender as well. We'll talk about him, I would presume, sometime later this week in more in depth. The shooting is just probably never going to come along, and that's a problem for me. My comparison for him
is come along. I thought he shot the ball decently on the AAU level. It's just and he has good.
Last year, yeah, for sure. But he shot 64% from the free throw line for his high school career and 21% from 3. That's not going to do it for me.
I get that, but if you look at it, and it's not the same thing, but the difficult shots that he takes and makes, the fadeaway mid range jumpers, again, it's not 2002. We don't necessarily play like that, but I just think that eventually he's gonna have to. I mean, obviously he's gonna have to be able to space the floor, but I do think he does have good touch, at least from. It's almost like I think he is. If Aaron Gordon is a 5 out of 5 athlete, I think Koa is maybe a 3.5 out of 5. But also Aaron Gordon's 3-point change, shooting just is miraculous, and it's hard to say that it's just not that easy to make the jump of a shooter that Aaron Gordon has made. But it gives you, or at least Koa Pete gives me those same kind of vibes of a guy who can be like an Aaron Gordon, especially if the shooting is. I mean, he didn't have to shoot as well as Aaron Gordon has been shooting. Now, if he's a league average shooter, then I think Koa Pete is a very good starter for a team.
Now, listen, we're completely aligned. Like I have an article saying literally these same exact words, word for word. My comparison for him is 2020 to 2023 Aaron Gordon in Denver before he starts shooting. Well, I think that he can be a high quality role player. It's just like you have like Aaron Gordon has the benefit of playing next to Nikola Jokic, a big that can space, a big that's the best interior passer from a big
One of the best players ever, man. There's
yeah.
so many. You just say he was one of the best ever.
Yeah, he's one of the best ever. So that obviously helps Aaron Gordon a lot. And so I think Aaron Gordon, before he could shoot, would be worse, obviously, on other teams. I did a whole thing where I compared Aaron Gordon, like people drafted him to be like some type of creator. Orlando did, and it failed miserably. If a team drafts Cole Pete to be a creator, a primary creator, it's going to fail miserably. But he can be a ancillary piece, really good high level role player, especially if he can increase his 3-point shooting. So yeah, it's 2020 to 2023 Aaron Gordon, when he's like I think even that version of him is more athletic than Cole Pete. But
yeah. Aaron Gordon, I mean, like outside of the dunk contest, like he catches lobs backwards.
Yeah,
like all the time. Like
I got him on the Brandon Clark. I got him on the Brandon Clark to Aaron Gordon spectrum, somewhere in between, somewhere in there. That's what I think about Cole Pete for sure.
So speaking of production and productive people, Michigan. I mean, Michigan. They're supposed to be challenged. They beat the brakes off of San Diego State last night. They beat the brakes off of Auburn today. Yaxel Lindenberg. I mean, it's not hard to like. Yaxel Lindenberg is a first round pick. Yaxel Lindenberg is extremely talented, and I almost think that him playing the 3 at Michigan is helping him, because now he has to space the floor. As long as they're going to play a Daimara and Morris Johnson and Yaxel together, and they mix up the lineup some. So he's playing some 3 and he's playing some 4, but he's shooting the ball. I think he's shooting 40% from 3. He's like 3-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. He's their best rebounder. Like Yaxel Lindenberg is extremely productive, extremely talented. What are your thoughts on his game overall, and where is he at on in your draft projection?
Yaxel Lindenberg is a NBA player playing in college right now. He's supposed to be in the NBA last year. Incredibly productive at UAB. Came back for an NIL bag. I get it. But he was on NBA teams' radars last year and would have got drafted probably in the first round.
He was at the Combine last year.
Yep. And playing well.
He played well at the Combine last year. I personally know a Michigan assistant, and that's when the rumors were coming, and he was like, and this was probably day 1, maybe day 2 of the Combine, and I asked him, I was like, yo, you guys getting Yaxel? And he was like, man, it's 50-50. Like, I couldn't tell you yes or no. I just know that, he hasn't made a decision yet, and that's how good he was at the Combine last year. But continue on about Yaxel.
Yeah, I think he's a really good athlete, really good rebounder, good passer, and the 3-point shot has grown throughout his career, and now it looks like he's improved it, and he's worked on it because that front court is obviously clogged up. So having him, he has to shoot it. So he definitely worked on it. That's another player that kind of reminds me like an Aaron Gordon type. I don't know if it's just because he's light skinned or whatever, but really good athlete, good rebounder, good passer. I think he's a really well-rounded player. He reminds me of a guy that's going to be in the league for like 10 years, role player type of guy. I think he is, I won't say he's surefire, but I'm pretty confident in him being a quality NBA player, quality role player for a lot of years in the NBA. I felt like that about him last year. I think he could enter the league, but he didn't. He went to Michigan, and I think he should get draft buzz in the mid-first round. If he continues his production, I'm gonna have him as a lottery pick. I'm production over everything. So you continue your production. I'm gonna have you pretty high up. I mean, he is super old.
Production over everything. At what point do you factor age in your decision making? If we look at the last, I'm gonna just shoot out some names of 22/23-year-old guys. Now, Nick Clifford, I think Nick Clifford is a very good player.
He's got drafted to the wrong place, unfortunately.
He's in a bad situation. But teammate of his, older guy, Devin Carter, he had one great year shooting at Providence, and even in the he was hurt. He had a shoulder injury, I believe, his rookie year, but he hasn't been able to. Not even again basketball, especially the NBA, is as much opportunity as it is skill. Like you can look like whatever you were in DC if you're Denny Avdia and be an all-star in a different situation. I'm not saying that's what Devin Carter is, but sometimes you just got to be in the right situation. But Devin Carter has struggled. Another former Sacramento King, Davion Mitchell, 22 years old. He had one good year of shooting, struggled in Sacramento, but is finding his spot in Miami. So if and there are other guys. I mean, I'm just
Chris Duarte. Yep.
He was in his late 20s. He was 22, 23. He was an older prime. He might have even been 24.
Dalton Connect.
I think Dalton Connect is probably better in a different situation. I think the LA Lights might be just, I think he's lost his confidence. But again, that's part of playing in the league. So with that being said, older guys, Yaxel Lindenberg, we're obviously going to talk about Bennett Stirtz tonight. And you say your production over everything. How much do you factor in age in your decision making?
My thing is with age, you have to be showing year over year growth. And you can't just out of nowhere just be a good player. Like not to get into all analytics, but your first year at like 5+ BPM is your last year in college. I'm going to be out on you. I need to see year over year growth. If you are getting, like, you need to show growth while you're getting older. You also need to dominate wherever you are as well. Production and like consistent production. Like Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges was good since he was a freshman.
Yes.
Not on NBA like radars necessarily, but his production was good every single year. He showed an NBA skill set every single year he was in college. Why he didn't come out of college, I don't remember. I was like 14, but I went back and looked at his profile, and it was year over year growth, year over year production. Even with someone like Austin Reeves, year over year production. These players are not just coming out of nowhere and having a great year. That's pretty much really rare. With Cedric Coward, he improved something in his game. He improved his 3-point shooter year over year. Clifford improved not year over year, but like when he got to Colorado State, and also another thing, I want you to show scalability, be able to be a role player, and then also when you get more usage, stay efficient and handle your role well. I think Nick Clifford did that, and he improved his 3-point shooter. And not only did he improve his 3-point shooter, it wasn't just catch and shoots; it was pull up threes as well. He improved as a passer. I need to see year over year growth, and that's how I determine if I'm going to be in on you, despite being older age prospect. And Yaxel has been productive for multiple years. He's grown in multiple years. Someone like Ryan Kalkbrenner has been productive since he got on the court as a sophomore. He showed year over year production. He was excellent his whole college career, and now he's playing pretty well for the Charlotte Hornets. So I need to see year over year production, and you're just not getting good for 1 year. And it's, like you said, it's about opportunity. I thought Jaime Jaquez was done for, honestly. Now he's playing pretty well in Miami.
What's my man's name? The rapper from Memphis, Duke Dennis. Duke Dennis. He had the meme a few years ago. He might be too young, but he had the meme a few years ago. Or they were pumping his chest, and he, came back to life. Like that's what he over here looking.
You said Duke Dennis. You mean I know you're talking about. I know that. Yeah, I know you're talking about. I saw the video. They pump him on the ground. And he came up to life.
Yeah. Duke Deuce.
Yeah,
My fault. I got the streamer mixed up. Duke Deuce. But yeah, that's what Jaime Jaquez looked like he looked like a 1 year wonder. He was terrible last year, and now they are playing what I think Bam said is AAU basketball down there in Miami, and they just letting dudes hoop. And Jaime Jaquez is, I guess, he's had a resurgence. But so we've talked about Yaxel and the Bird. We both think he's a first round pick, but you are extremely high on another older prospect, Bennett Stirtz, who lit up Ole Miss today. I do not have the stats, and he finished with 29. I know he did finish with 29.
6 for 8 from 3.
How many? What was he?
6 for 8 from 3.
6 for 8 from 3. You have Bennett Stirtz as a top 10 pick, 6th pick.
Well, yeah, top 6.
Explain to me the reasoning behind that. Explain to everybody the reasoning behind that.
I know. I mean, in the last video, there's a guy that's like, I see him a lot on Twitter. I think his name is like Mike or something like that.
Mike James, yeah, man, friend of the show.
Yeah, him. He comments on some of my stuff to take Stirtz out of
everybody's stuff.
Yeah, he does. He told me to take Stirtz out of my top 10. But
hold on, did you see what he tweeted tonight though?
I didn't see it.
He said Bennett Stirtz is making me a believer, so I'm gonna give you your props for that. But go ahead about Bennett Stirtz.
I didn't see that, but Bennett Stirtz, I think that he is the epitome of possession maximization, and that's what I think I look for, especially in my guard prospects. I want you to get the most out of each possession on the court. He does that. He doesn't turn the ball over. He finds a quality shot every single time. He handled insane usage last year and didn't turn the ball over. Was extremely efficient. The offense was way better with him on the floor than off. I think a thing we don't talk about enough in prospects is stamina. Like, he played a lot of minutes and didn't foul, didn't turn the ball over, found quality shots. Now, he is older. One thing I was looking for him is his three-point shot, which grew a lot last year. He shot 40% from three. He was really good in isolation. He was really good in pick and roll. He was really good off the ball. I think he had one of the most complete statistical profiles of any prospect I've ever seen in my life. Now, he did it. What I wanted to see from him this year is him to do it on the Big Ten level, and he has done it. Well, they obviously they have the conference play, but at the beginning of the year, he has been excellent. Focusing on this actual game, I don't think he was that great. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think he was that great.
Explain, and then I'm gonna give you my reason. But go ahead.
He was 6 for 8 from 3, but my guards need to get to the paint and score, and he did not do that well at all. He had some switches where he just couldn't create separation. The athleticism didn't look good tonight. I mean, he's not a great athlete. He didn't create advantages downhill. He didn't create clean looks in the paint. His driving angles was bad. His touch wasn't great around the rim, and so he was really relying on that 3-point shot. Now, it was going tonight. He's really improved his 3-point shooter. Didn't like the process. They really I think compromised his playmaking ability tonight because he wasn't able to get into the paint. And he had 2 assists. So yeah, I mean, the box score looks great for sure. However, I don't think that was a great Bennett Stirtz game. That's not the prospect I'm looking to put in the NBA and be a top 10 pick. The shot making, brilliance. I like it. I love it. I want his 3-point shot to be really good. However, though, he needs to be able to create advantages, create separation, and look better against better athletes like that. He needs to be a little bit more crafty. I think that my pitch for him as a top 10 pick is a Austin Reeves type of guy, and I think Austin Reeves. I'm not just saying that because they're white. I don't like doing that.
No. You don't have to give me the complexion comparison breakdown.
But yeah, I think that's like Austin Reeves would go top 6 in a redraft right now in 2021.
I got a complexion comparison for you with Bennett Stirtz. Mm-hmm. I think Austin Reeves is too rich for my blood, but actually to have white. Who is it? Ty Jerome.
Yeah.
Ty Jerome is half black, or he might be a quarterback. I've
seen that comparison.
So, and Ty Jerome, when I watch Ty Jerome has handles to get him a jumper because his feet don't come off the ground. You know what I'm saying? Like he has no turbo to get by anybody, but he's a great shooter and he has enough handle. He has a really good handle, but his really good handle gets him jumpers because he's just not a great athlete. And watching Bennett Stirtz tonight, even though he, 29, he had big shot after big shot. That looked like Ty Jerome out there to me. And there's no shame in being Ty Jerome. Ty Jerome just got paid. Unfortunately, he's hurt right now. You mentioned he was 6-8 from 3. He was 9 of 20. So my Iowa State education says that he was 3 for 12 on twos.
And he had a few mid-range shots too. So at the rim, it's probably much worse.
Exactly. So then let's take away I have to dig deeper, but if we say he was 2 for 4 on mid-range jumpers, that means he was 1 for the world on layups. And I know he's going to be an analytics darling, for one, because he plays the whole game. Everything is geared around him. He can really, really shoot. Very good decision. He's a really good basketball player. I just can't put him in the top 10 for that reason, because I need my point guard. Again, my thinking is my point guard, I need you to be, especially 6. Regardless of the numbers may say something or the other, but to me, a franchise level point guard is going to be able to generate paint touches all the time, almost every single time. And that's just, to me, I don't know if he's going to be able to do that. Now, I'll be the first person to tell you that I'm wrong if he proves me wrong. So I have him at 13, 14, 15. I think he's a really good point guard, 10-year vet. You'll absolutely take that because, again, the shooting is going to be there. The decision-making is going to be there. I think the defense is going to be solid because he's going to compete. It's just that I feel like Ole Miss had the blueprint. We're going to switch the pick and rolls, and we're going to make you play one-on-one. And the three-point ball was falling for him tonight, and that's great. But at the next level, if teams are going to switch, you got to be able to beat guys. You got to be able to create paint touches. And that's what I want to see from him going forward. And if he is able to do that and finish again, the finishing is going to be selective. Again, I don't expect him to be Kingston Flemings by no stretch of the means. But I just want to see him be able to create his own shot and get to the paint, because at the next level, they're going to sit on that at the three-point line. And those shots are going to be tougher. So, but he shot the ball extremely well, but that's who my comparison for Bennett Stirtz is, Ty Jerome.
And I'm not mad at that at all. I mean, having him at 13 and 14, I don't think that's crazy at all. I mean, depending on how his season goes, I may become like he may go to 13 and 14 for me. My thing is, with my boy right now is I didn't have a lot of confidence in the freshman coming in, for one.
You should, because I mean, I don't want to say names, but we'll say a name, Tounde. A lot. I thought he was going to be a top 10 pick. I knew he was raw on offense, and I'm not trying to pile on Tounde. I think he's an NBA. We think he's an NBA player. I think it's a compliment to be compared to. I mean, you think Lou Dort is a fake 40% shooter, but Lou Dort is a champion. You know what I'm saying? He's a champion. He's making money. I mean, Lou Dort's going to play 10 years. I think that's a compliment. Everybody doesn't want to, hear the role player comparison, but role players get paid too. And then 2025 going forward, they're going to make a lot of money. I want a 10-year NBA career more than being a flash in the pan. But like you said, with the freshmen, they're going to be up and down. Some of these freshmen that we talked about or we thought we were going to talk about, some are going to be in the portal next year. But Bennett Stirtz, to me, I have him in that range. And this is a strong point guard draft. It's a very strong point guard draft. Michael Brown Jr. is very good. We talked about LeBaron Philon last night. You can't really keep him out the paint. He's shifty. Kingston Flemings, you definitely can't keep him out. You almost have to build a wall. And it's when you in this draft, we see Michael Brown get into the paint. We see Kingston can't keep him out the paint. LeBaron Philon is cold. And then we still, there's still the idea or the potential of Darren Peterson being a point guard at the next level too. It's Bennett Stirtz to me is behind those guys, but at the same time, he's ahead of some of the other freshman, sophomore point guards. I think 15 is a great spot for him. I think he's more Ty Jerome than anybody else in this draft, and that's not just because of complexion, even though Ty Jerome is probably a quarter black.
I would say, I was just more confident in him with the year of production I saw him at Drake last year than some of the freshmen like Kingston. I mean, I think Kingston can, pass him. I think Mikal, if he can keep the rim finishing up, can pass him. I think LeBaron can pass him. I mean, as well. But I just value his, his passing, his not turning the ball over, and he did create paint touches a lot last year at in the MVC. Obviously, is the high major is different basketball.
Yeah.
But my thing is with Bennett Stirtz, he was good against high majors last year.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
He was really good against in the tournament. He was really good at non-conference play. Like, he's shown the ability to be really good against high-level teams, and he's shown the ability to create pay touches against high-level teams. Now, where a lot of that with a screen, probably.
Yeah.
And I think with him, he's not a great athlete, but his change of pace is really good. His understanding,
I think his handle is really good. It's just it's just not a handle that's going to get paint touches a lot, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, because you saw like tonight, like they switched. And he danced with the ball enough, he can get a step back. I know he likes to shoot a step back going left, and there's value in it. It's just going to come down to, all right, when teams switch, especially at the NBA level, what does he have for them? But I mean, we're gonna have to nitpick. You know what I'm saying? He had 29, and we're sitting here saying it was 29. Like, that's crazy.
It's not a game. It's not a game. I want to show an NBA GM like, this is why we should draft him.
Nah, for sure.
Because he's not gonna shoot 6 from 3 every night.
Definitely not. Well, that concludes another episode of the NBA Draft Junkies podcast. I got my man Latif Love with me again. He's over here. I guess we gotta call him a Hoodie Latif. Are you even old enough to remember Hoodie Mello? Man, how old are you?
I'm 21. I'm old enough to remember Hoodie Mello.
Okay,
sure.
I'm about to say, man, I got sneakers older than you, man. That's aging me. That concludes our show. Check us out again, Real Latif. I will put his @ in the comments where you can find him and everything that he writes about, talks about. But this is NBA Draft Junkies podcast. I'm your host, James Barlowe. We are out.